So good afternoon, Miss Norma. Would you please just introduce yourself for our
Yes, my name is Angela Norman. I'm 51 years old, and originally I caught my case in Montgomery County, but I'm actually returning to a small town in Darke County called Greenville that I've never been to before. So
Great, thank you. It's really great to meet you. So what is one word that describes how you're feeling about leaving ORW and then returning?
Emotional. There's like a wide range of emotions because I've been here for 8.5 years. So there's two women in particular that I've formed a family bond with. So when I leave, it's like I'm leaving my family here and I don't have anybody on the outs. So that aspect of it is kind of emotional. Also anxiety and kind of fear because I don't really know what to expect coming back into society, how welcoming they're going to be, you know, how much is my case going to be held against me, you know, what services are available. Like I said, I'm returning to a county that I've never been to. I haven't even been able to have a video visit with this county, so I don't really know what is available to me in that area and all that kind of stuff. So kind of anxious and, you know, it's a little bit of everything all kind of combined into one thing.
Understandably so, understandably so.
Yeah.
So what have you been thinking about as your release date approaches?
I have actually been thinking about my release date for over 2 years now because I'm in college and I took a transition class in there and they teach you about resumes and stuff. They brought out a lot of things I hadn't thought about. Well, when I go to an interview and they say, okay, so yeah, you're a felon. Well, what did you do? So we had to think about how to answer that question, you know, and Mr. Coleman gave us really good advice. He said that you should put it into perspective. You know, we all make mistakes and give it the longest time. 10 years ago, I made a really bad mistake, whatever, but this is what I've done since then, so that you're putting it more in context and it's a chance for you to show the skills that you've acquired while you're here.
Great.
So I've already been thinking about housing and all that kind of stuff, and I have a timetable and all that kind of stuff of what I want to accomplish and when I want to accomplish it. And that probably comes from being in the military too.
Well, thank you for serving in the military.
Thank you. I loved it. It was 10 years. So
Great. What do you think will be the hardest thing for you as you return to an outside community?
Like I said, I'll be going somewhere where I've never been before. I won't know anybody in that area. I'm basically leaving my family here. So for me, probably the hardest thing is loneliness and depression because I suffer from clinical depression. That's my diagnosis of mental health. So I'm going to have to constantly gauge myself and how I'm feeling. I'm afraid of traffic, to be honest. We only have to contend with golf carts and bicycles here. So I'm afraid of going by trucks now because they're going to honk and I'm probably going to jump 10 feet. And people will be like, what's wrong with her? You know, so, you know, and that's kind of it, you know, crowds. And then everything is very different because of COVID-19. You know, before I came in, I had a job and I was paying bills and all of that. But COVID-19 has changed the game out there. There's a lot of, you know, stressor about that, you know, and how that's all being handled and how am I going to fit into that and all that kind of stuff. So
extra layers of unknowns, right?
Yes. It's like layer upon layer upon layer of stuff.
Yes. So what is the most important thing for you to do to keep moving forward when you get to your new location?
I would like to find a church that I can go to and that I can talk to about God, and God is like the center of my life and stuff, and I know He has a purpose for me and stuff, but that's my big thing is finding a church as my base, and then finding community, you know, whether it be, I'm starting all over. I have nothing. So I clothes, I don't have food, I don't have, you know, and we've signed up for food stamps here and all that kind of stuff, you know, but I have to get my insurance started when I'm out and clothing, you know, and household goods and a car. You know, I don't even know if I'm going to a small town, so I've heard they don't have busing there. So I'm like, well, how am I going to get around? So transportation is a big issue, you know. Those kind of things, you know, just those support things that you would normally get from your family and stuff, you know, food pantries even, you know, or,
Right.
you know, where can I go to if I'm not able to work right away, you know, because I have to get a birth certificate that comes from out of state. That's going to take, well, it would have taken 2 weeks, but I don't know what it's going to take now with the mail. So
Right, yeah.
I may not be able to work right away when I get out. So, you know, then, okay, well, can I volunteer somewhere, you know, and stuff like that, so I can keep myself occupied.
So, okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's going to give us over the next 2 days a lot of food for thought and a lot of good direction in what we're planning. So my final question is, what do you need from your community when you get there? When you picture being received back into your community, what does that look like?
Support, just knowing that there's people I can go to talk to, even, you know, if I'm struggling or I feel like I'm having problems. Someone that understands, you know, that is willing to listen, you know, support, just knowing that people care, you know. I mean, it's hard, you know, going to someplace you've never been and you don't know anybody there. But it was like that when I got here. I didn't know what to expect when I got here either. So, you know, it's kind of, on one hand, it's exciting and all that, but really it's about support, just knowing that there are people there and that there are, that my PO is willing to help me and put me in touch with, you know, different resources available, you know, and that the community is willing to welcome me back in and, you know, let me be a productive citizen. That's what I want, is to go back into being a productive citizen, you know.
Thank you, Ms. Norman, for answering the questions and being vulnerable and helping us be able to help you when you return.
I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for folks. It means a lot. You know, it's in my whole stay here, it's been important to know, have people from outside come in and visit and just know that people do care that you're here, you know, and that you're not just kind of cast away. So,
well, be safe, and thank you.
Thank you.
So welcome, Ms. Young. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Can you just briefly tell us about yourself?
My name is Hui Zhang, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm going back to Toledo, Ohio, Lucas County.
Great, thank you. So what is 1 or 2 or 3 words that describe how you're feeling about leaving Ohio Reformatory for Women?
I'm apprehensive because I've been here 6 years, and I have a confident. I learned a lot of trade over here, so I'm excited and ready, but also I know all the challenge I'm about to facing, such as job, housing. So yeah, I'm kind of just up there, worried and fear.
So what have you been thinking about as your release date approaches?
Actually, the minute I come to prison, I already think about the day I'm about to leave. So reentry is not 6 months before or 3 months before. To me, it's the day you come to prison, you start to think about when you leave. I've been working on building a strong foundation back to my life. So I'm making plans. I make a small plan and a big plan and little goals, big goals, something I can achieve first, then go from there.
Great, that's wonderful. What do you think will be the hardest thing for you as you return to an outside community?
My situation is a little different, but to me, it's like hard to making new friend, to explain to them where I haven't been for 6 years. I know like now if you go to an interview, they won't ask you about your filing or not. However, 6 years is a big gap. Where you been? Eventually you have to be honest about it. I think that is hard for me to explain because I do have a violent crime. So I think that's the hardest for me.
Okay. So what is the most important thing for you to do to keep moving forward when you get to when you get back to Toledo?
Stay focused on the plan I have for myself. And I've been here, I adapted like a healthy lifestyle. So I like to running and work out. Also, surrounding with faith-based people, that's what I need to do. And I know folks like Christians or whatever, they will help me spiritually and mentally.
Great, thank you. What do you need from your community when you get back there?
I consider myself really lucky. I have great support system out there. However, I just hoping and the community don't look at me as the felon, and I'm just a different individual. So what my charge will never change, but I'm a changed person. I just hoping they see me as a different person instead of just look up my charge violent person.
Well, thank you so much for answering our questions. And just from this little time together, I can tell you've put in the hard work to become a new person. And so good luck with everything in the next several months. And so thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great job.
So welcome, Ms. Ware. If you would please just introduce yourselves to our participants at our event today.
Yes, I'm Drexa Ware. I'm 49 years old, and I'll be going back to Summit County, which is the Akron area.
Great, thank you so much. So what is 1, 2, or 3 words that describe how you're feeling about leaving ORW?
I'm anxious, I'm lost, and I'm fearful. Anxious because I've not done as long as the other ladies, but 5 years. I'm kind of lost because they say just because time stops here, it doesn't stop out there. And everything that's going on, my family tell me all the time, it's a whole new city. So I'm lost, but I'm also fearful because my mother passed before I left, but since I've been here, my father passed, and I'm very codependent, and I've never lived on my own without my parents. So having to go and see the house and my dad won't be there, having to go to the gravesite, things that I have to do, you know, to get over the barriers to keep moving, just things like that.
Ms. Ware, thank you for that honesty, and know that God is going before you and is around you and comforting you with that. So what have you been thinking about other than those things about as your release date approaches?
Accomplishing my goals. I made short-term goals that I want to accomplish. When I leave, I've deemed myself homeless because I have to face reality. Yes, I have family that I can go back with, but why would I put myself in that predicament? They teach us in recovery, people, places, and things. Even my daughter is an alcoholic, and it's hard for me, you know, not to be able to be around my sisters and my own children. But it's something I have to do if I don't want to come back here or if I want to live.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that. What do you think will be the hardest thing for you as you return to your community?
Not being able to be with my family.
Yeah.
Not being able to be with my family.
Yeah.
It's doable though. You know, with God, all things are possible, and He'll fill the void. So
yeah,
it's not that I can't be around them. I just have to know when to be around them.
The boundaries, right? The
Yes,
proper
ma'am.
boundaries.
Set boundaries, keep my boundaries.
Keep your boundaries. Yep. And we'll be praying for you to have new family, God to bring you new
Yes.
family as well. So what is the most important thing for you to do to keep moving forward when you get back home?
Well, we have a saying here, what you're doing here, you'll do out there. So I work, I go to church, I go to school, and if I keep that in my mind and in my plans, even at the halfway house, I have to keep programming and keeping my meetings, get my sponsor, stay in school. With the help of Miss Lewis, was my teacher. This Lewis that's here was my GE teacher. It took me, she wouldn't let me quit. She wouldn't let me quit. And after 2 years, I got it. So I have something to go home and build upon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what I do in here, I'm going to do out there. I don't want to get overwhelmed, but I want to stay focused and keep going. I'm 50, I'll be 50. I came at 45. I'll be 50 in December, and half of my life I've been on drugs and alcohol. So I want to go home and live and not just exist anymore.
Good for you. Good for you. That is wonderful to hear. So tell the community, because this is who's going to be hearing this, tell the community what you need when you get back.
I'll need a lot of support because, like I said, I have family, but it's limited. My AA family, I was in and out of AA. I need my NA family, AA family to step up. Like I said, I'm homeless, so I have nothing. I have nothing. Clothes, shoes, shelter. I have nothing. Patient, just everything that it takes to be a productive citizen. I don't believe in recidivism. I'm too old, and the foolishness has to stop somewhere. I have 9 grandbabies, 6 of which were born since I've been here that I don't even know. I don't want them to think that this is okay.
Yeah.
So I need the support to just be a productive citizen.
Great. All right. And I have no doubt that you will be. I see the determination.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving your time today and speaking to us and speaking truth for us today.
Thank you for choosing me. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.